everyone, it's Christina here, transformational nutrition coach and owner of Christina Johnson Wellness. And if you have ever felt like you have been trying to eat healthy, you're trying to do the right things, but the weight is just not budging, then you're gonna love today's video because that's what we're gonna cover. I have had conversations with, I think at least 3 different people this week who all said some form of this. They all said, I felt like I was trying to eat healthy and they felt like they were doing the right things and they were feeling better, like their energy was better. They just had some improvements that way, but the weight was not coming off or not coming off as fast as they would hope. And so I figured that this would be a really good topic to dive into because I'm guessing there's lots of other people who have felt this way as well. And so I'm curious, let me know in the comments, have you ever had that thought that you are trying to do the right thing and eat healthy, but it's just not working for some reason? Let me know in the comments if you can relate to that. Just put a me there. Because I know that I have definitely felt that way in the past, probably a couple years or so, where obviously I know how to eat clean, I know what to do, but for other reasons, it just wasn't working the way it had in the past for me. And so what tends to happen for a lot of people is that when you're trying to eat healthy, but it's not working, it's really easy to slip back into that old diet mentality where we think, well, I just need to cut my calories even more. And so then we just start cutting our calories more and more. And, that can work short term, but it really is not a good long-term solution. It actually can cause a lot more harm to your metabolism and to your weight loss efforts long term. And so I'll dive more into that in future weeks. So this whole month, I'm going to kind of explore different aspects of this issue of what do we need to do to really lose weight in a healthy way. So make sure if you're watching on Facebook that you've liked my page so that you get notified when new videos come live, or if you're watching on YouTube, hit subscribe so that you get those notifications as well. But today what I wanted to do is just talk about what are some of the most common reasons that I have seen in my practice and my experience in my own personal life for reasons why the weight won't come off even though you feel like you're doing the right things. And stay until the end because I'm going to talk a little bit about an upcoming free workshop that I have going on in about 2 weeks on the 19th of April, where I will dive more specifically into 5 of the most common reasons that stop people from losing weight and kind of lay out a step-by-step plan to how to really get your weight loss jump started. So I'd love to have you join me for that. I'll put the link in the comments so you can go register once I'm done live, and I'll talk a little bit more about it at the end. But let's dive in and just start talking about what are some of those reasons why it's so hard to get that weight to budge even though you're eating healthy. So I've got a list here so I don't forget any of them. But the first one is we really need to be clear on, well, what is the definition of eating healthy? Because, I always, before I work with a private client, I always have just an initial consultation with them just to hear what they've been doing, what's working, what's not working, so that we can both get a sense if my program will help them. And I can't tell you, most of the time people tell me, well, yeah, I've been trying to eat healthy. I'm, eating low calorie. I'm, choosing low fat products. I'm cutting out all the carbs. They have all these things that they feel like they're doing. They're eating whole grains instead of white flour. And to be honest, some of those strategies just aren't super effective long term. And so first of all, if you feel like you're doing the right things and you're eating healthy but it's not working, we need to first get clear on is what you're actually doing the best way to approach eating healthy and weight loss. Because there's lots of different ways, there's lots of different experts out there, and I'm telling you all kinds of different things. And what I found is that there isn't one perfect way of eating for everyone. Sometimes it takes a little bit of experimentation or trial and error to figure out what works best for you and your body. So that's the first place to start, and that is something that I am more than happy to help work with you on because that's what I do as a coach. We figure out what's going to work for your body. But then number 2, the second reason why the weight might not be budging, and this is one that a lot of people know, on a head level they get, but when I'm working with clients and actually making this recommendation, it's hard to accept. And that is maybe you're not eating enough food. Maybe you're not getting in enough calories. And I know we often think, well, if I'm not losing weight right now, I just need to cut back more calories and more calories and more calories. And it's so easy to slip into that mentality, but it is such a slippery slope. Because for one reason, like when you cut back those calories so much, you're just hungry all the time. You have cravings. You want to eat nonstop. You just are thinking about food all the time. And so then you like end up going off the deep end and eating all these things. Whereas if you just had a moderate amount, then you wouldn't be in that situation. But also, if you reduce your calories too much for too long, your body gets used to that lower amount of calories. And so if what you're doing isn't working anymore, maybe it's because your body has just gotten used to not having enough calories. And that doesn't mean all hope is lost. There's definitely things you can do to kind of get your metabolism going again. But that's one thing to consider. And so as I go through all of these, I want to say, like, I'm not saying that like all of these are the exact reason why you might not be losing weight. I'm giving you things to think about and to consider, because honestly, when I'm working with my own clients, when weight loss budges or stalls, then, it's kind of a matter of like experimenting with them. And sometimes it's easy to pinpoint, the factors that are contributing to the stall in weight loss for them. Other times it takes a little bit more time to figure out. And so I'm just running through a list of several different things that I kind of keep in the back of my mind when I'm working with someone that we need to just to explore. So as I'm going through this list, just know that that's what it is. It's something for you to consider and to explore to see if it's a factor for you. And it may not be, and that's okay. Okay, so number 3, the third reason why maybe you're not losing weight the way you think you should be is this. Are you really being honest with yourself about what you're eating and how much you're eating? So, I mean, to be completely honest, this is something that I ran into myself a couple years ago when I wasn't working at a school. I wasn't leaving, like I was a school counselor, and so I was going to school every day. I had very like routine meal times, and I ate what I brought. And then I started working from home, and I realized like I was just eating more than I was used to. And it was still healthy foods. I was still eating really clean, but I was just eating more than I needed to. And so sometimes we just need to be honest with ourselves. Like, are we really doing everything we know we should be doing? Because sometimes we know in our head what we need to do, but are we actually following through? And this is where it's really, really helpful to have a coach, someone to just help you be accountable and to help you be honest with yourself about, are you really doing what you need to do to lose weight? And that's the camp that I found myself in a couple years ago. Okay, number 4, the fourth reason why your weight might not be budging is if your blood sugar isn't balanced. So I won't go into this really deep. I think I'll cover this again in a few weeks and kind of go deeper into it. But just to help you start thinking about it, here's what happens. When we're eating a lot of sugar and flour and processed carbs, we spike our blood sugar. And when your blood sugar is spiked, your body releases insulin. And insulin's job is to take that extra sugar out of your bloodstream and to store it somewhere else in your body. So it'll put it in your liver and in your muscles, but if those like storage bins run out of room, it's gonna turn it into fat and put it in your fat cells. And so if we are eating in a way where our blood sugar is like spiking and dropping all throughout the day, insulin is going to be really active, and that means your body is in fat storage mode. You're not allowing your body to get into that mode of burning fat and losing fat. And so maybe you're sticking to the right amount of calories, maybe you're exercising, but if insulin is just having to be working on overdrive, that is really going to put a damper on your weight loss efforts. So again, you might be eating healthy, but are you eating really well balanced meals that keep your blood sugar just more stable and just have like gradual rising and falling throughout the day? That's really important to being able to burn fat and lose weight. Okay, the next one. Okay, this is another one where it may or may not be a factor for you. But what I have seen, I'm hearing more and more people who are practicing intermittent fasting. And to be fair, like when I first heard about it, it seemed like this amazing thing that had all these great benefits. And I have practiced it myself off and on throughout the years. But what I'm actually seeing more and more often is just with people that are doing it and in the research that I'm looking at, is that it does work for some people and it can be effective for some people, but for other people it can cause issues. So one of the issues is that when you go for a while without food, then that can be a stressor on your body and it can affect your blood sugar. Your blood sugar might plummet and that can affect your stress hormone, cortisol. So it can cause like this cascade of events when you're not eating regularly. And so I was intermittent fasting for a while and I found recently that I just needed to go back to eating breakfast, I try to eat within 2 hours of waking up. And it just seems to be better for my blood sugar and for my cortisol levels to do that. So again, it's just something to consider. Maybe intermittent fasting is okay for you, but please know that just because something like intermittent fasting or keto or low carb, just because that's working for someone else and your best friend is like raving about all the great benefits she's getting from it, it doesn't mean that that's going to work for your body, because like your stress levels, your level of sleep, your blood sugar, all of those things will play a role in determining whether or not that's going to be an effective strategy for you. So if you're having a hard time getting the weight to budge and you're intermittent fasting, eating in a really small window, then maybe that's just not working for you. Okay, the next issue or the next reason why it might be difficult to lose weight is if you're not sleeping well, not getting enough sleep or good quality sleep. And this is a tough one because, like when we think about eating extra calories, if we eat an extra 500 calories, it makes sense to our brain that that would equate to gaining weight. Or if we go on the treadmill and burn 300 calories, in our brain, we can see that that could help us lose weight. Well, it's harder to see the connection between sleeping well and losing weight, but I promise you there is a connection there. When you are not sleeping well, not getting good sleep, it affects so many processes within your body, because overnight your body is naturally detoxifying, like getting rid of all the chemicals and toxins and everything else, which will impact weight loss. It is also when your body is healing and repairing itself. Your cells can like regenerate or get rid of the cells that aren't functioning properly. And when you're not sleeping well, it's going to affect your hunger hormone so that you feel hungrier even though you don't actually need to eat. So there are many, many reasons, but really if you find your weight loss stalling and you're not getting good sleep, it's definitely something to look at. And honestly, I'm of the camp that if it's between getting up an hour earlier to exercise or getting another hour of sleep, especially when you're sleep deprived, I really think that getting that sleep is important. I'm a total proponent of movement and exercise too, but we really do need to be getting good quality sleep. And there's lots of things that we can do to optimize our sleep. That's something else that I help people with, but it's an important facet to consider. Okay, the next one, I've just got 3 left. So the next one is stress. And again, it's hard to see the connection between being stressed and not being able to lose weight, but I've seen it so many times that as people get their stress levels under check, that they have an easier time losing weight. And I just want to be clear here too that, oftentimes, think about a time, the last time where you felt stressed out, like there was something going on in your life, like you could just feel in your body, you were stressed, you were tense, you were anxious, worried, overwhelmed. Though that's how we often think about stress. But I promise you that even if you are not in that like stressed out state, there are many other times throughout your day and week where you have stress in your body, but you're not feeling stressed out. There are so many things that affect our stress levels, things like our blood sugar, not getting enough sleep, toxins, but also like environmental kinds of things like lighting or noise can be a stressor on our body. And so, when our stress levels are out of balance, number one, it affects your cortisol and your melatonin, which means it's harder to sleep. And also cortisol is going to encourage your body to store belly fat. So if belly fat is an issue, that's a sign that potentially stress is an issue for you. There can be other potential causes, but that's a really common one. So if the weight's not budging, looking at your stress levels is really important to do. Okay, the next one is hormones. And so obviously if our hormones are out of balance, especially as we get older, as we get into perimenopause and menopause, your hormones will play a role in how easy it is to maintain your weight. But I also want to say that it is not impossible to lose weight even as we get older. It is still 100% possible, but a lot of times it just doesn't happen in the same way as it used to. So you need to try different strategies or different approaches, and sometimes you just need to be patient. Maybe it takes a little bit longer, but the weight does come off. Okay, and then the last one is that I kind of just put them in a little category of other hidden factors. Things like food sensitivities or inflammation or toxins. And this is something I'm gonna dive deeper into during my upcoming workshop that I have on the 19th, where I'll look at 5 of the most common factors that really cause people to not lose weight, and I'll dive a little bit more into the reasons for them. So you definitely sign up for the workshop so you can get that. But really, so I think what has happened over the years is that we've been told that if you need to lose weight, we really need to do 2 things. We either need to eat less calories, less fat, less carbs. We just need to rein in what we're eating, or we need to exercise more. But our bodies just aren't a math equation like that. It doesn't, it just doesn't work where you eat this many calories, you burn this many calories, and then you'll lose this much weight. It doesn't work like that. Our bodies are much more complex. It depends on what food we eat. The food we eat gives information to our body to tell our body what to do with that food, if we're going to store it as fat or not. And so it's just not quite as simple as we've been led to believe. So we need to look at these other factors like balancing our blood sugar, getting good sleep, managing stress. And they're like, specific things that you can do and ways of eating to accomplish all of this. So with all that being said, and I'm curious, let me know in the comments if there's any of those specific factors that you feel like could be at play for you, making it hard to lose weight or to get the weight loss budging. So let me know in the comments. Like I said, for myself, definitely I wasn't always being honest with myself about how much I was eating. And the intermittent fasting for me did impact my blood sugar levels and cortisol a bit. And so I've had to readjust that. So let me know in the comments what the factors are for you that might be causing an issue. And then I invite you to sign up for my free online workshop that will be on Monday, April 19th, 7 p.m. Central Time. It's called The 5 Steps to Jumpstart Weight Loss and Get Your Eating Under Control by Doing a Clean Eating Detox the Right Way. So I haven't offered a workshop in 6 or 7 months probably. And this is one I've offered before. It's always gone over really well. People have given me really great feedback about how helpful it is. And I've had many people watch it more than once and they get new pieces of information out of it. So I highly encourage you, whether you've seen this one before or not, sign up for it. I think that right now we're getting into spring, we're thinking about our summer wardrobes. It's just a nice time to really think about what we can do to get our eating on the right track so that we feel good, feel better, have energy, and can get to that healthy weight for our body. So sign up for the workshop. I'll put the link in the comments, but it's just at ChristinaJohnsonWellness.com/jumpstart. That will take you to a page where you can get a little bit more information, sign up for the webinar, and then I'll email you with a Zoom link that you can use to join us that night. So I really hope to see you at that workshop. I think it'll be just a really great, informative workshop and help you feel motivated and inspired to get things on track for this upcoming spring and summer. So if you have any questions about anything, want any assistance from me, please feel free to reach out in the comments, send me a message. I am happy to help. Thank you so much for watching today's video, and I will see you again soon.